a lot. It's fascinating that
where are we talking?
We're
Chilliwack?
talking Vancouver,
Vancouver,
Metro,
Toronto,
the whole Metro Vancouver area.
They're not selling.
Well, the new ones are not selling. So like some people wouldn't understand how developments are done, but if you built a tower in Toronto or Vancouver and it's got 200 units in it,
yes,
you would own the dirt. The developer would buy the dirt. Either if they're really wealthy, they would own it outright, or maybe they'd even have a mortgage on the dirt because the dirt's worth so much. Then they would go into a phase of kind of like quote unquote sales where you'd see like a mobile trailer on a property.
Yes, and then they do the pre-sale. Those pre-sales are not selling.
The pre-sales are not happening, period. Zero. They're done. So basically what that means is we're in a market now where, so there's another.
Wait.
I drive by ones, but they're not actually selling. Like when I go to Children's.
Like some of the Admar in Chilliwack that's on First Nations land. Those are a bit cheaper. Chilliwack's probably a bit of a different market. But even those, I'd be curious to talk to the lady that has them.
So people these developers are just going to build it and then rent out all these condos?
No, most of them are for pre-sale. So this is
and if it doesn't pre-sale, they're not going to build the building.
And so people don't understand how the housing market works in this space, and it's a huge segment of the market. It's built fully based on investors. So the world we live in, us people, is like, hey, we buy a house to live in. Maybe if we're wealthier, we buy more houses to rent out. That would be kind of in this business, in the condo market. They literally drive the market. Like people that are buying a pre-sale are not the end user. They're not the person that like, we want to buy our first place. It's none of them. Almost none of them.
It's other investors.
It's people like me that have, let's say, 20 or 30,000 for down payment, and we're like, hey, I've saved up this money.
Because your mortgage doesn't start until you get your keys.
It doesn't start for 4 years.
So you can just put 30 grand down, and then you are counting on the market for that amount of time, the build time going up that much, and then when you're about to sell, you just flip it.
Okay, so none of these people want to do that.
They don't want to live in it. They don't want to live in it. None of them are buying it to live in it.
They don't see the potential for that to go up in value, so they're not going to put their money in there.
But also,
guys, I'm going to be so good because when I have heard you talk about this, I'm like, the condo market sounds good. I had no understanding of this. I bet you there's other people that are just like, whew, over their head, and now they're actually going to understand because you're explaining it to Marie, who doesn't know what you're talking about.
One more thing about that. 3 years ago, for example, if you put a $30,000 down payment on, and now your condo is done,
it's completely
those people are saying, I'm walking out. They're walking away. And so, like, yeah, they're not supposed to, and they legally can't, but they are because they just don't have the money, and they can't flip it anymore.
So another whole piece,
and so all of a sudden, all these things are empty. Yeah.
So another whole piece is the assignment. Most of what was happening was assignments. People were signing their contracts at somewhere in that 1 to 5 year. 5 years would be.
They were
very
selling
normal.
it to somebody else.
They were selling that contract to someone else. It went up a bit,
right.
Maybe to an end user where it's like, hey, it's 3 months.
There's
from completion.
A clause that you can take out of a contract. An assignment clause.
With developers, it's tougher. They make it more stringent. And so now what's happening is these people aren't allowed to advertise it for sale. So like in some buildings, they're not even allowed to advertise on MLS. That's why there's all these Facebook groups like Assignment for Sales in Toronto, where there's 20,000 people just smashing each other publicly about how bad their assignment contract is. But basically what's happening now is the only reason that people would complete is because they would have other assets, and they can make up the difference either with their own money. Maybe they refinance their current house to come up with the difference and still have someone else take over their contract and complete on it. But what's happening is you're having this vacuum now of no building, no new projects. And so at some point, the pendulum will swing. We'll have a government that will ramp up immigration again, and we'll run into this weird, now we're not near the bottom of the trough. Don't hear me say it's a great time to grab a pre-sale, but it's fascinating how now there's no building. So we need cheap housing.
So this is like a silly question, but if they need to sell, there's 250 units that they're going to pre-sell and 50 people buy them. But they can't develop and are you locked into that contract? No. Those 50 people?
No, there's a time frame, and there would be a time frame that if you had a decent realtor, would make sure it's not too long. And then at some point you would get your money back. Now what's happened is a lot of these projects, they bought this land at the peak price in 21 or 22. You get to 23, 24, and you're seeing it where people's deposits have been at risk because the whole project went bankrupt. Now, there's insolvency courts involved, and for me, I can see the back end in Vancouver and Burnaby, some of these properties where it's a $30 million quarter acre of land where they're going to build a tower on. There's just obviously there's too much debt associated with that, right?
And I think there's another thing happening, which is like, for example, in law firms, lawyers lawyers right out of law school, they do like the crap work and just like, I don't know what they call that exactly.
Paralegals? Or?
No, they just do they're just learning. But anyway, AI can do all that work now, like really easily. And so those guys aren't getting hired anymore, but they have $200,000 in student debt. And I think over the next year, like the first thing that AI will take is white collar jobs. And like, I think it'll just decimate
that. But that causes problems, because if those young lawyers can't get that beginning and experience education, then all the older lawyers are going to retire, and these younger lawyers never got the experience to make them into the older experienced lawyers.
That's right. It's going to be a mess. But those are also the people that live in cities and buy condos and do those kind of things like that. And so I think there's also just going to be way less demand for it that way. Like, but what does the bottom of the trough look like when you think bottom of the trough?
I think you get to the spot where stuff cash flows. And so for the last 20 years, it never mattered if something made sense financially on a month-to-month basis, because you were so, after 10 or 15 years of prices perpetually going up, you know what, if you had to feed a condo $250 a month or $400 a month, anyone would tell you that's a horrible investment, but it wasn't if a condo was worth double the money in 8 years from now, right? And I think now we're seeing it where we're 4 years into a correction. We haven't hit the bottom. And the other main issue is that a lot of the product that was built, especially in Toronto, was just horrible product where nobody wanted it. It was built specifically for immigrant students, all the hundreds of thousands or millions of kids that were coming from other countries that the government let in. Low quality, 350 square feet for like just dog crate condos, as Ron Butler would call them. Yeah, so I think we're kind of in that spot now. The interesting thing is that the market's correcting even in Chilliwack. Like locally, it's really correcting. But the desirable product still sells at a premium. Like, this is when you realize, and this is the old mantra in real estate about location. If you're on a phenomenal street, even if you're a dumpy house, you're going to sell reasonably quickly or well. Yeah. Where if there's any strike against you, the product sits. And stuff's selling, like in Chilliwack. I mean, I guess it's not relevant to other people in other provinces, but Chilliwack, to see detached houses selling in the 600,000s, that, and even in the 500s now for real crap houses, like,
people are hearing those numbers are like, what?
Seems like a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot.
And it is a lot. But I think you got to remember the building costs have gone up so much that I always look at it like, once you get to those low numbers, you're getting whatever house on there is, you're getting it almost for free, right?
Yeah,
you're
for
back
sure.
to land
well, especially if you go buying those in Saskatchewan or like, or just different places in the States.
Rural areas.
Yeah, you're not paying for the house. But there's no code either. Like where Trey lives, there's no code.
He can just build whatever you want.
It's amazing. But then when you buy the place, you're like, you don't know what you're getting, right? Like,
I think in Cost and Caramias too, I don't think you need a building permit. I think you can literally just build.
That's how it should be. Marie, do you got to go?
Pretty quick.
But Tim's just texting about stuff.
Anything important you want to talk about, Marie?
Well, I was trying to think if there was anything I need to talk about. I don't keep
set the record straight.
Phone.
Are you coming on the live event on stage with Nicole?
The live event?
It's not on the calendar, so it's not happening.
It'll be in the calendar soon.
Maybe. We'll see.
I think that sounds like a yes.
Didn't feel like we were that controversial today. One thing I've wanted to do is make the show more controversial.
Oh,
we can do that.
It's more entertaining. People are looking just for fighting.
Well, I'm going to leave then.
Oh, you like controversy too?
Not really.
Ugh, makes it really uncomfortable. Marie and I, we spend
most of our marriage
just trying to get along.
There's just way more gray in the world than there is black and white. And I think people want things to be black and white. And
I'm desperately.
When somebody has a really strong opinion one way or the other,
it makes Marie and I really
I just think, why are you putting yourself in that?
I'm in that camp with you.
That I just think there's just way more nuance, and people deserve way more grace than the opposing sides want to give each other.
That's how you feel when someone's bashing Trump?
Yeah.
I don't really know.
Or the other way.
I don't pay attention to anything about Trump. But there's just
look at her.
But like I don't know what people are bashing Trump about or what people love about him. I don't really know. But anytime that there's people that are like, this is the greatest thing ever, and this is the worst thing ever, I'm like, there's just, the truth is probably somewhere in the middle between those two things, and there's nuance, and there's. But anyway, people would rather
People
have that
love being
conversation.
militant. Love.
Yeah, I'm
fighting
like,
for
why
something.
do you want to, like, are things that important that it's worth sacrificing a relationship? I mean,
Some things
sometimes
are.
some things are, but I just think they're. I don't know. I like I like to give somebody the benefit of the doubt that if I disagree with where they view what their views are, that I can appreciate that their heart is where their heart is and where that it comes from a place of care and love, and just
Even if
because
it's even if it's a non-Christian,
yeah.
really? Because I think there's people that their heart does not come from a place of care and love.
Maybe. But if I guess in my
You're assuming the
conversations
best.
where I'm assuming the best, I'm
Assuming
assuming
positive intent.
I'm assuming that
I do
somebody
that, yeah.
wants the best for other people and wants the best for the people in their life and their family. And just because we may disagree on what the best
Yeah.
actually looks like doesn't mean that they're evil. Like, I think that's
No, we're equal. We're all equal.
well, and we're all equally bad, but
That's right.
it's I don't know. I just think there's way more nuance and opinion than
Yeah.
and things are way more opinion than they are fact.
Yeah.
On that note, I'm gonna go pick the kids up from school.
Thanks
for
coming
coming
on,
on.
Marie. Have a great day.
All the best in the future.
It's going to be pretty challenging. She's going to be living with me.
For how many more years?
Forever. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Till death do us part. So
That's what vows are. Anyways, what else you got? I don't got anything.
you don't have anything else?
No.
I had all kinds of stuff about, it was theological, though I don't want to go there.
If you want to come on the show,
No.
send me a message.
No, don't.
The people that want to come on shouldn't come on.
People that want to come on should not come on.
I know that.
You know that, right? That's like people that are vying to be an elder at their church. I'm like,
Go away.
hail nix, as we say in Dutch.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, well, that's it. Peace.
We're ending it.
Yeah, we're done.
Okay, thanks.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed that episode and were blessed by it, would you be willing to support the show? That would help a lot in creating more content, improving the quality of the content, putting the production value, getting more guests on, and me being able to spend more time and energy towards it. So if you're interested in doing that, you can click up here and it'll take you to a support page. But you can also subscribe to the podcast by clicking over here and doing that. Thanks again for listening, and I'll catch you on the next one.